house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day, we've got Ernest, Mystica, Tiffany Green, and Kimani McGee. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla, and we're running out of time here. But when we left off yesterday, Beth and Tara up on the block. Kiefer and Ty, the two voters this week, they're planning on voting out Beth, and she seemed at peace with it. She wasn't really campaigning. It seemed like all of that had gone on last weekend while the feeds were down. And now she's just like, okay, I'm going to go to the jury house, whatever. She's kind of trying to, like, stir some stuff up, maybe, like, turn some people against each other on her way out, which we talked about yesterday. But turns out she's not done with the campaigning either. Kind of. She's got some more stuff up her sleeves. So Beth was talking to Kiefer in the HOH room, and she asks him, like, half jokingly, half serious, so are you keeping me tomorrow? And Kiefer pretty much avoids answering. So Beth says, you're making a huge mistake. And Kiefer's like, huge? Me? I don't think so. He says, if you won HOH this week, I'd be on the block right now. Most likely going home. Yep. And Beth says, nah, the past is the past. And then she's like, you would have done the same thing to me. So, like, let's just move forward. And Kiefer says, it doesn't work like that. He does not think, even if he voted for Beth to stay, that Brayden would break the tie in her favor. Because Ty is, like, dead set on Beth going this week. And it's really interesting that, like, Tara left last week during the fake double and came back, and, like, they're not taking her out. Like, usually you see the person that comes back get evicted right after, so it's pretty wild. But Kiefer's like, no, even if I voted for you to stay, Brayden would not break the tie in your favor. And Beth says, oh, I can convince Brayden, because it's a way bigger move to take out Tara than me. I haven't won anything since day 34, and I got help with that one, because Jed, like, pretty much threw that competition to her. But Beth says it's just an emotional move to take me out. She thinks that Ty is pissed at her because she called him a floater during their argument the other day, and, like, a bunch of other stuff, I guess. That was before the feeds came back, so we only got to see part of it on last night's episode. But Kiefer says, I've been working with Tara for this whole game. And there was, like, a little moment of silence after he said that. I think it was as Beth was realizing, oh crap, there was other stuff going on in this house that I was not aware of. Whoa. So Beth says, Tara's going to vote you out if she wins POV next week. She's going to get rid of you because you're too big of a threat to win. And Kiefer's like, no, I'm pretty sure Tara's going to keep me. I honestly don't know what Tara would do. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure she would take out Kiefer. She's been talking a lot of crap about Kiefer to the cameras. What am I thinking? But Beth says nobody else is going to keep you. And Kiefer says, yeah, you would take me out too. Like, don't try and lie about it. And Beth freely admits, yes, she would take Kiefer out if it were up to her. But she says she's going to be a lot easier for Kiefer to beat in competitions, so he wouldn't have to worry about her winning. So Beth says, I just want this to be done. Like, let's get this vote over with, because she's tired of Ty walking around this house like he owns the place. And Kiefer's like, you do realize that you were walking around for 3 or 4 weeks like you own the place, right? Drag her! So Beth is like, no, I was just being myself. I was happy. So Kiefer's like, well, you definitely changed when Jed won HOH, because that was the second week in a row that was, like, the honeymoon suite in the HOH room. And I have to agree, like, things definitely shifted that week for sure. So Beth is frustrated that she's taken the heat for everything that the trio did and not Ty. You know, why is she up on the block this week and Ty is not? Because she thought she was in super tight with Brayden. She thought that she had Brayden in her pocket, but it's really Ty. You know, Ty is the closest to Brayden. So Beth says that Ty told her in the defender bedroom that he's been doing things that he would not do outside of the house in order to use Brayden. literally trying to take Ty down with her on her way out. She is pissed that she is paying the price for what the trio has done and Ty is getting away with it. She's upset that he's not taking credit for things now, but if he makes it to the final two, he will definitely be trying to take credit for moves that the trio made. So, yeah. This is not a great campaign for Beth, but in conclusion, Kiefer is still voting Beth out. Okay, so then Beth also chats with Ty in the living room area, and again, not a great campaigning effort from her, which you will see. But it starts off pretty calmly. Ty asks, "Are you good?" And Beth says, "I'm sad. Why do you hate me?" Oh boy. If she's asking, "Why do you hate me?" you know it's going to be rough. So Beth says, Ty and Brayden are going to get split up by Tara and Kiefer. And Ty's like, "Yeah, that's assuming we lose." And Beth is like, "I mean, yeah, you might win the competitions, but you might not. And if you keep me, like, I'll go to the end with you guys." She says, "I don't win things, but if I did, yeah, I would take you and Brayden to the end, us in the final three." And Beth says, "I even told Kiefer that straight to his face," which, yeah, she actually did say that. But she says, "I just want to make sure that you're not basing your vote off of our fight the other day. I know I said some really bad things. This was the fight where, you know, she called him a floater and all that stuff that we didn't see on the feeds. But she's like, I want to make sure that we can look past all of that." And Ty says, "Yeah, I can look past all that, but I think in the future you would actually split up me and Brayden." So then Brayden joins them on the couches, and he's mostly just listening, but he does talk a little bit here and there. But Beth says she's the only one that takes them to the final three. She says, "Kiefer has been working with Tara this whole game. He told me about it." But again, like, Kiefer voted Tara out last week, so... But, anyway, Ty thinks that if Beth stays, she would take Tara to the end. But that doesn't make sense, because for Beth to stay, Tara would have to go. That does not make any sense. I'm just realizing that now, like, what? But Beth was like, "No, I don't think that I could beat Tara." So I don't even know why they were having this conversation. That did not make sense. But Beth keeps insisting that she's the only one that would take Brayden and Ty to the end. She says nobody else wants to because you guys are a duo, and they know that if they're in the end with you, you guys are going to take each other. So she's like, or, you know, if I'm still around and I don't win, you guys could beat me easily, and then you could do whatever you want. So Ty's like, "I think you're the one who's been pushing that narrative that me and Brayden are a duo." And Ty also says that Beth has told everybody different things, so how can he believe her? How can he believe anything she says? And Beth is like, "Because we've been together this whole game. Like, yes, I'm telling people different things, but what I'm telling you is the truth." So I honestly do think that she would go to the end with Ty and Brayden because she does not want to go up against Kiefer in the final two. But Beth says it's just something to think about. You know, it's probably not going to happen, but I don't want to just, like, roll over and die. So then when she figures out, like, this is not happening, things start to get a little bit nastier. So Beth says she's confused why Tara is getting taken to the final four, especially since they've, like, cleared everything up at this point. And Ty's like, "I'm not mad about what happened. I just can't trust you. I can't trust a word that you say. You've done me dirty." So Beth is like, "When? Tell me." So Ty lists off a bunch of times that she's been sketchy, and Beth is like, "Can't we just brush all that aside and just look at the logistics moving forward here?" So Ty is like, "No, I can't trust you." So now things really start getting heated here because Beth is like, "Well, I didn't go to Brayden on his HOH and tell him everything dirty that you've done to him." Just a note, Brayden is still sitting here listening to everything in this conversation, and Beth is like, "I should have just told him. I should have gone to him and told him because it's not right that I'm up on the block and you're not." So Ty is like, "What have I been doing to him? What have I done? Are you serious?" And Beth is like, "You've got to be kidding me right now. You said he's expendable to you this entire game. You've been using him, saying that you're doing things that are so beyond you that you never thought you would do before. You said you were like doing your work with him, and you've been saying it for weeks. And, you know what I mean, Ty has been saying all that. He has been reporting back to Beth and Jed. I mean, we've heard him say it in the diary room as well, but just the way that she's having this conversation in front of Brayden, if you were going to tell him about this, wouldn't it be better to just pull Brayden aside one-on-one? I mean, this just felt really nasty. Also, Beth encouraged this. Like, this is her own doing. She told Ty to get closer to Brayden. She told him to flirt with Brayden, and now she's just upset that Ty is closer to Brayden than she is. So Ty is like, all right, well, is that what we're doing? You know, we're going to air out all this dirty laundry. So Beth is upset as well because she feels like Ty went to Tara and Brayden and threw her under the bus to them. She's wondering, like, are you the one who told Brayden that I said he doesn't deserve to be here? And Brayden says, pretty much everybody told me that you said that. And Beth's like, well, everyone says that kind of stuff. I feel like I've heard Beth say it the most. But, like, yeah, a lot of people have said things like that about each other. It's always the power group, like the trio, that would be saying that stuff about people. So, anyway, Ty says Beth throws people under the bus, and he does not do that to her. You know, he just advocates for himself. So, I don't know if that's totally true. But anyway, they argue back and forth about whether or not Beth can be trusted, and then Beth starts chastising Ty for minimizing her and cutting her off over and over again and making her look like less of a person. Damn. So then Beth starts crying, and she's like, you're sending me out tomorrow, and you can't even be real with me or spend an effing second with me. It seems like Ty is, like, over Beth at this point. So I think it's really freaking her out that he has cut her off so abruptly. But she says, like, I've been playing this whole game with you. And Beth says she hates that Ty will not own up to anything. She's taking all the heat. Again, she's on the block, and Ty did not touch the block at all this week. Ty's never been on the block. So she says last week when it was Brayden and Jed up on the block, they were going back and forth trying to decide who was going to go. And yet, again, she is the one paying the price here. So Ty's like, Brayden was never going. He says, I never wanted him to go at any point during this game. Which is true. Like, that whole debating the vote thing with Ty, Kiefer, and Beth, Ty and Kiefer knew what they were doing, but they wanted Beth to make it feel like they were still kind of wavering and trying to decide what they were going to do. So Beth is like, holy, that's bad. She says, so you haven't been using Brayden, sleeping in his bed, letting him do stuff for you in bed, things that you didn't agree with. And then the feed's cut. Wow. Again, Brayden was sitting there with them, listening to this conversation. I think it's pretty safe to say that Ty will not be voting for Beth to stay. What the hell? Again, this would be a good conversation for Beth to have with Brayden in private, but no. So, later, Ty and Kiefer were talking to Brayden in the Destiny bedroom, and Brayden says he gets why Beth is frustrated on a certain level because she doesn't know how the trapdoor plan went down last week. She doesn't know that Ty was in on this the whole time. And Kiefer was in on this the whole time, of course. So Ty and Kiefer are saying, yeah, we get that, but we were not offering up pros and cons to Beth for why you should go. Like, that wasn't a thing. Also, we never said people don't deserve to be here. Come on. I mean, you have to at least own up to that part. Come on. Okay. So, yeah, that was that. It seems like Brayden is still okay with Ty. I don't know if they had a separate conversation on their own while the feeds were down or what, but maybe he's just keeping that information in his back pocket now. I don't know. But in other news, have-nots are done for the season. And to celebrate, Big Brother gave them some takeout. And once again, It was after they had already eaten dinner. That's just so sad. But nothing else too exciting happened last night or this morning. Unless something crazy happens, Beth will be evicted by a vote of 2-0 tonight. She will be going to the jury house. So now I want to know from you guys, who are you rooting for HOH? We don't have many options here. Brayden cannot play, so it's going to be either Ty, Tara, or Kiefer. Whoa. And just to remind you guys, the HOH this week really just means safety for that person. They're guaranteed a spot in the final 3, but the POV winner is going to hold all the power this week. They're going to decide who else is going to join them in the final 3. So, the end game is always very interesting to see how this plays out. And I think this is one of the more interesting seasons because it doesn't feel like things are totally set at this point, right? So I'm excited to see how it all plays out. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. And until next time, much love.